What if I told you there's an 18-year-old phenom quietly climbing the ranks, who's so dominant on the court that he's already projected to be a top 3 pick in next year's NBA draft? A player so good that he's earned the title of Georgia's Gatorade Player of the Year and stands as a frontrunner as the 2024 Naismith College Player of the Year. This is Ace Bailey, one of the most promising collegiate basketball players in the nation. But is he truly worth the hype? And why isn't his name dominating headlines just yet? Let's dive into the story of Ace Bailey, how it all began. But before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another story like this. Before Airious Ace Bailey became the rising star of college basketball, he was just a kid with big dreams, who has a love for the game, and a family that shaped him into the person he is today. Born and raised in Powder Springs, Georgia, Ace grew up in a household that valued hard work, discipline, and staying humble in a foundation that would become the bedrock of his success on the court. From an early age, it was clear that Ace wasn't an ordinary kid. For one, he was really tall. By the time he was in middle school, he was already 6'8" and towering over most of his classmates. With his height advantage, basketball was a perfect fit for him. But Ace's love for basketball didn't come out of nowhere. His family has a deep connection to the game. His mother, Ramika McGee, played college basketball at West Virginia University, and his father, Richard Bailey, played college basketball at Houston. His aunt, Venus Lacey, played in the WNBA and was a member of Team USA's 1996 Olympic team that won a gold medal. Growing up, Ace spent countless hours on the neighborhood court. It wasn't fancy, but to Ace, it was a place where he could dream. Every day after school, he would lace up his sneakers and head to the court with his friends. The games were intense, and Ace quickly learned that being tall didn't mean much if you didn't have the skills or toughness to be a great player. On the court, he developed the smooth jump shot that would later become one of his signature moves. He also developed his rebounding and blocking abilities, going up against older kids who weren't afraid to push him around. Fortunately, he managed to thrive on the challenge. By the time Ace hit middle school, his height had increased, and so did his confidence. But instead of relying on his natural gifts, he became obsessed with improving every aspect of his game. His dad noticed this hunger and started waking him up early for drills in the driveway before work. His parents knew Ace had something special, and they weren't about to let him waste it. When it was time to choose a high school, Ace and his family faced a big decision. They wanted a school where he could grow not just as a player, but as a person. And they chose McEachern High School, a program known for producing top-tier talent. It was the perfect place for Ace to test his skills against some of the best young players in the country. Meanwhile, Ace didn't disappoint. By his sophomore year, he was already pulling off highlight-worthy plays that left crowds in shock. But he didn't let the attention go to his head. He still helped his mom around the house, studied hard in school, and stayed close to his friends from the neighborhood. But this was just the beginning. If you ask Ace when he knew basketball was his future, he would probably refer to a summer league game when he was 13. The gym was packed, and Ace, playing against older kids, scored 25 points and grabbed 15 rebounds. For the first time, he realized he could be more than just another tall kid. He could be great. From that moment on, there was no turning back. Ace threw himself into the game with everything he had, even before stepping foot on a college court. Ace Bailey was already a name that was popular among coaches and scouts across the country. Once he got to McEachern High School in Powder Springs, Georgia, he quickly became the centerpiece of their basketball program. Even at 6'10", he moved with the fluidity of a guard, handled the ball with precision, and could score from anywhere on the court. His opponents didn't know how to deal with him. Put a smaller defender on him, Ace would punish them in the post. And with larger defenders, he could just blow by them with his agility at his size. Eventually, coaches started calling him a matchup nightmare, a name that would stick with him throughout his career. Scouts took notice. Rankings started to climb. By his junior year, he was locked in as a 5-star recruit and the top-ranked power forward in the entire country. But it wasn't just his stats that turned heads, it was how he played. Ask any coach who worked with Ace, and the first thing they'll talk about is his basketball IQ. His playmaking and decision-making on the court makes him stand out among a lot of players his age. And Ace's numbers were impressive, averaging over 20 points, 10 rebounds, and a handful of blocks per game. But by the time Ace was preparing for college, he made a decision that shocked a lot of people. After his high school career, Ace's decision to commit to Rutgers surprised most people. But Ace had his reasons. He wanted to be part of something special and to help build a program as the leader. When it came time for Ace to choose a college, the usual suspects were in the mix. programs like Duke, Kentucky, and Kansas all came calling, each offering him a chance to play under the brightest lights and for coaches. But Ace saw a different path. Rutgers showed a lot of love and respect to Bailey by having their entire staff attend his AAU games, and that was the main reason he chose Rutgers. Also, Rutgers had been quietly building its basketball program under head coach Steve Peichel, and landing a player like Ace was a game changer. For Rutgers fans, it was a dream come true. Ace's commitment showed that the Scarlet Knights were no longer just a scrappy underdog. They were ready to compete on a national stage. The fan base, now buzzing with hope, packed the arena for his debut. The first game was everything you would expect from a player with Ace's pedigree. He scored 18 points, grabbed 11 rebounds, and blocked 3 shots, leading Rutgers to a commanding win. That day, the fans left the arena with one thought: the Rutgers basketball has officially entered in a new era. Game after game, Ace proved he was one of the most highly sought-after recruits in the nation. In one particularly impressive outing against a ranked Big Ten opponent, Ace put up a near triple-double with 22 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. With the game on the line in the final minutes, Ace hit a crucial three-pointer, then followed it up with a block on the other end to seal the victory. Like any freshman, Ace faced challenges. College basketball is faster, more physical, and more demanding than high school or AAU games. His opponents weren't going to let him dominate without a fight, often sending double teams his way or trying to rough him up in the post. But Ace handled it all with skill beyond his years. He adjusted quickly, learning to read defenses and make smarter decisions. If a double team came, he would find the open man. If his shot wasn't falling, he would focus on rebounding and defense. Ace's impact at Rutgers wasn't limited to his performances on the court. His presence elevated the entire program. Attendees at games skyrocketed, and the energy in Jersey Mike's arena was electric every time he took the floor. His teammates also thrived, feeding off his unselfishness and leadership. Even the media started paying more attention to Rutgers. National analysts who once overlooked the Scarlet Knights started highlighting Ace as one of the most exciting young players in the country. It wasn't long before coaches across the Big Ten began to take notice of Ace's dominance. Even NBA scouts started making the trip to Rutgers games, eager to see the freshman phenom in action. But just how far can Ace go? When a young basketball player makes a name for himself as quickly as Ace Bailey has, comparisons to other top prospects and even NBA players are inevitable. While Cooper Flagg at Duke has been generating a lot of buzz as the potential #1 pick in next year's draft, Ace Bailey is trying to prove that he deserves that spot too.
I'm a scorer, a defender, a leader.
From the moment he hit the college scene, Ace was pegged as a special talent. His versatility, size, and skill set have made fans and coaches drawing comparisons to NBA superstars like Kevin Durant and even Tracy McGrady. What's even more intriguing is how Ace is managing to blend qualities from these great players, making him a one-of-a-kind prospect. When you watch Ace glide across the court, scoring with ease, it's hard not to see the similarities to KD. Durant, also standing at 6'10", with the same long, slender frame, has always been known for his ability to score from anywhere on the floor, whether it's a pull-up jumper, a three-pointer, or a quick move to the basket. Ace has that same offensive versatility, but Ace isn't just a shooter, and just like Tracy McGrady, he's known for his ability to do everything on the court with great finesse. Like McGrady, Ace has the ability to play multiple positions, handle the ball, and create for himself and others. Whether it's running the floor, making an incredible assist, or making big blocks, Ace has that all-around game that makes him stand out. His quickness and ability to cover ground so smoothly on both ends of the court give him the same swagger that made McGrady the legend that he became. Coaches from other top programs and NBA scouts have also shared similar sentiments, often commenting on Ace's potential to play multiple positions at a high level. One scout who watched him in a recent game was quick to point out that Ace has all the tools to develop into a top-tier NBA talent, particularly with his length, scoring touch, and defense. As with any high-profile recruit, the hype surrounding Ace Bailey is immense, but it's also faced by a strong sense of realism. Fans of Rutgers and basketball enthusiasts in general are excited to see what Ace will do in college. There's also the understanding that there's still a lot of room for growth. The media often describes Ace as a star in the making, someone who has the potential to be a game changer, not just in college basketball, but on the NBA stage. In an era where social media and highlight reels dominate the conversation, Ace's quiet approach to the game has been refreshing. Instead of making a spectacle of himself, he's been focused on letting his game do the talking. For fans, the excitement comes from watching a player who doesn't just rely on athleticism, but also uses his high basketball IQ to get the job done. And as Ace continues to grow and develop, it's easy to see why he could have a bright future in the NBA. And it's only a matter of time before he becomes the next big name in basketball. You think Ace Bailey is worth the hype? Leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.